going to need the outing, but I do think that the triples suit him. Won second time out last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was on the back of a reappearance run here.
Yeah, his first time on record, he's 3rd and 4th, so he generally does need that first start. But I just think he's a sort to make a better chase than he was hurdler.
Derek Fox takes the ride on him. The yard do have 2 in the field, the other one being Torresay.
Yeah, Torresay, who was a...
Yep, not long, minute to the scheduled off time for our next Tom, and it's a lower grade race than what we've had, 0 to 105 handicap. Really open though, isn't it? And DeSotio at the top of the market, ran well at Foss last time out. We were just chatting in extra and saying that there's just a possibility there's something better handicapped, but they're not horses that you can necessarily hang your hat on for today.
No, that's right. I thought Clovis Boy was one of the more interesting runners. Lucinda Russell's got the 2, and I think he's a sort to make a better chaser. But he's weak in the market. He'll cut with the ground. One thing he does stay, he's an out-and-out stayer. He'll go on the ground, but it's just a case of whether he's tuned up for today. As for the Oliver Green or Josh Guerrero runner, stayed on at Foss last over 3 miles. Probably the extra 2 furlongs and the deeper ground is going to suit him. And he's only had a handful of tries over fences, so he comes in relatively unexposed compared to some of these.
Yeah, I liked Clovis Boy as well, but he has been easy to back. Maybe he will need it. He was 4th on his reappearance here last year before winning second time out. Other horses potentially of note in the field. Well, Paw Paw won his last start. He just doesn't always run 2 races alike.
No, that's true. It's a case of whether he can follow that up, and he's up £6.
Coming into line, let's get back to Gareth.
And they're off, jumping away over 3¼ miles for the Watch Racing TV Handicap Steeplechase. Gypsy Lee Rose and Don Brocco, 2 grey horses prominent here. They're in company with DeSotio, and Clovis Boy has unseated the rider at the first. Clovis Boy blundered badly, and Derek Fox had very little chance. There he is, helmet off, head in hands, and looks a bit gutted. So Clovis Boy is out of the race, the horse galloping up past the stands riderless. Derek looks okay, which is the main thing. They have 2 circuits left to go, and DeSotio now splitting Gypsy Lee Rose and Uptown Harry. DeSotio having a small lapse of concentration there, seemingly, as he approached the road crossing. With Don Brocco, second of the greys, not too far away. Low mileage in the yellow jacket over towards the inside. Gibberwell follows, just in front of Paw Paw, who's in the blue and white quarters over along the inside. Hold the Note in pink is out wider. Then in the white and orange colours, Torresay. Orange cap of Crow Patrick, with the Turgeon de Broye a little wider out, he being the 3rd of the greys and the darkest of them, and the back marker by a further 3 lengths or so is Tombridge as they gallop away from us now and out towards the 2 plain fences, which will take them out towards the far side. DeSotio in the blue and white along the inside of Gypsy Lee Rose. Just the grey mare holding the lead over the next fence, at which further down the pack, Turgeon du Broye took a bit of a chance at. Joe Williamson just one hand on the rein momentarily. Gypsy Lee Rose up and over the next. And they're all safe as they now head right-handed into the back straight. 3 fences over in the back for them to jump. Plain, open ditch, plain. And it is Gypsy Lee Rose, the 10-year-old, and Bruce Lynn up and over boldly there to Uptown Harry. Further down the pack, Hold the Note didn't really do any great favours to Torresay by jumping a little right-handed. Now on towards an open ditch, and it will be Gypsy Lee Rose from Uptown Harry, the leader standing off it. They're all safely across. DeSotio wider out of the leading pair. And they're followed in at 4th by Low Mileage as they come to jump another. Low Mileage chased over that fence by Crow Patrick, and then Gibberwell and Don Brocco from Hold the Note and Torresay at Turgeon de Broye, and then Paw Paw, who's at the back end of the field now, with only Tombridge patiently handled here by Conor O'Farrell behind. Back on into the home straight, an open ditch now standing before them. Gypsy Lee Rose in front by around about a length and a half, and there who stays well, and she's jumping boldly here. They're all safely across that one. DeSotio on the outside. And then Uptown Harry and Low Mileage with Crow Patrick travelling nicely. The green sleeves currently in 5th. Gibberwell a further 3/4 of a length behind as they step over the next playing fence, at which Hold the Note looked to be a little clumsy. It was quite slow, didn't get all that high, making the run towards the 9th of the 19 fences. Soon enough they will be at halfway. Gypsy Lee Rose on the left. Low Mileage moving through to be almost closest pursuer. DeSoto, although continuing to just hang on to second at the moment. Crow Patrick towards the outside. Then along the rails is Uptown Harry as they come towards the fence, which will be the last in another circuit of the track. And again, all landing safely enough, and they have just over a circuit left to travel in this Watch Racing TV Handicap steeplechase. The only one that we are minus is Clovis Boy, who blundered and unseated Derek Fox at fence number 1. All of the others continue on up past us with a circuit left to go. Gypsy Lee Rose has made most to this point and is half a length in front of DeSoto, and then follows Low Mileage with Uptown Harry towards the inside where he's been throughout, and Don Brocco coming closer again around the outer. Crow Patrick is in at 6th, but only 2 to 3 lengths off the gallop. Next in running Gibberwell in front of Torosay, and then Paw from Hold the Note, Eturgeon Dubroy, and finally Tombridge as they head away from us for one final time, and galloping on the lengthy run now to fences 11 and 12. So it is Gypsy Lee Rose. DeSoto coming noticeably wider in that blue and white coloured jacket. Henry Brooker on board, has already ridden a winner here today. Low Mileage is down in between the leading pair, and they're being followed next by Crow Patrick. With in behind them Don Brocco. Gibberwell's rider Philip Armson just wipes some mud away from the goggles. Along the inside is Uptown Harry, as they're now on the approach to fence at number 11. And it will be Gypsy Lee Rose, DeSoto and Low Mileage, the leading line of 3. All safely across that one. Crow Patrick is in 4th and held together just in front of Gibberwell and Don Brocco. That was a flying leap, a soaring leap there from Gypsy Lee Rose up at the head of affairs. She takes them right-handed. They have about a mile of their journey to go and another 7 fences to get across, 2 of those being open ditches. This fence, however, is plain. Gypsy Lee Rose again good from DeSoto in at 2nd position, with in behind them Low Mileage and then Crow Patrick as they make the run towards an open ditch now. Don Brocco working quite hard all of a sudden towards the outside as they reach this open ditch, and DeSoto took off a little too soon that time. Didn't really check the momentum though, still travels all right. One who has dropped away is Uptown Harry over the final one in the back. Gypsy Lee Rose from DeSoto, Low Mileage cuts to the inside. Crow Patrick is in 4th and moving sweetly. 2 lengths off these is Don Brocco, then Gibberwell from Torosay, who's now being called upon to edge a little closer. 2 lengths back then to the patiently ridden Paw in front of Tombridge, who's also sat chilly throughout. Eturgeon Dubroy is following those, but looks like being pulled up, and Hold the Note is struggling in rear as they now head down to the final open ditch, which will be 4 out. And it is Gypsy Lee Rose who continues to show in front over Crow Patrick, who now comes through into 2nd place. DeSoto still moving with purpose, wider out of them, and then into 4th Torosay, past the tiring Low Mileage as they cross 3 out. Gibberwell is next, and then Paw from Don Brocco, and back in behind that one Tombridge, tailed off his Hold the Note. Nothing else continues, and making the run up the hill to the second last, giving a bold sight here, Gypsy Lee Rose from Crow Patrick, who is about a length or so behind her. DeSoto is one paced at this stage, back in 3rd. Gibberwell towards the outside is next as they make the run up the hill to the 19th and final fence, and it is Gypsy Lee Rose under Bruce Lynn, the leader. At the last now, Gypsy Lee Rose a little out to her left, but she's over by 3 to Crow Patrick. DeSoto. Gibberwell is staying on nicely, back in 4th, but has 8 or 9 lengths to find on Gypsy Lee Rose, and she just keeps on galloping here. The galloping grey, Gypsy Lee Rose by 3 over Crow Patrick, DeSoto and Gibberwell, and they're not going to get to her. It's Gypsy Lee Rose punched out towards the line by Bruce Lynn. Gypsy Lee Rose back to form with a pretty much all-the-way win from Crow Patrick, DeSoto and Gibberwell rounding out the leading quartet.
Yeah, Gypsy Lee Rose takes the penultimate race of the day, 23 days on from being pulled up at Hexham on the return, wins this under Bruce Lynn at big odds.
Yeah, switch of headgear for her compared to that pulled up on a reappearance at Hexham. Much improved performance. 3rd run at the track. She'd been placed on her 2 previous efforts. She was always to the fore today under Bruce Lynn. Keeps on strongly to get the better of Crona Patrick, who had every chance. He made a mistake at the second last. That didn't help his cause, but I don't think that was a difference between winning and losing.
No, in behind, Gibberwell was staying on pretty well to get involved. Gypsy Lee Rose has won at 40-1 here, and it's Crower Patrick that has eventually finished in second under Charlotte Jones.
Yeah, he's, as I say, he's run a sound race. He's got good form round here, racing for a couple of pound out the handicap. He's won one of those series finals. Gibberwell, bottom weight, 10 stone 2 minus his jockey's £3 claim. He's one of the few horses makes ground late on.
Yeah, it was the lighter weighted horses that pretty much came to the form. For De Sortier travelled into it well enough at the bottom of the hill and then couldn't pick up as well as the others.
I don't think there are any excuses. He
No.
was always in the first 3 or 4, wasn't he? If he was good enough, he would have picked up a couple of exposed handicappers, but he was unable to do so. Thought the longer trick would